Our In the Turn interview this week, our guest is 2013 ARCA Rookie of the Year. He describes himself on his Facebook page as a husband, dad of 3, race car driver, and crew chief mechanic for Brian Edwards. I can talk. I'm thinking that was a mess up. Of his son, Brian Earnhardt, grandson of legend Dale Earnhardt. We are joined this week by Xfinity Series driver, part-time, Bobby Dale Earnhardt. Bobby, welcome to the show. How are you tonight?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for having me on tonight. And just so you know, they could also probably catch the Daytona 500 in that pub too, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. They can. That is certainly true. I didn't even think of that. That's a good sale right there, Bobby. Emma's Pub and Pizza will have the Daytona 500 on. So let's jump right into things. And, you've got quite a story. How'd you catch the racing bug?
Well, growing up around it, it's kind of hard not to catch it. Going to the track with my dad every weekend, watching him race, watching my granddad race. It's kind of hard to catch it, kind of hard not to catch it whenever your last name's Earnhardt. So just destined for it. I know I raced go-karts for a little bit growing up, and then I got out of that and started working on the cars, helping my brother going up through the little 4-cylinder classes and into late models. So I've been on both sides. I've been on the driving side and the mechanic side, so I've been all around it.
So for those, and I should have mentioned your father in the intro as well, you are the son of Kerry Earnhardt. Kerry obviously had his time in Xfinity and Cup and as well, and you are the brother of Jeffrey Earnhardt, who is currently running a lot of Xfinity Series as well. So talk to us a little bit. First off, I believe you are the older brother of Jeffrey, correct? What's it been like to be at the track with your father and also now your brother racing weekly?
Well, with my father, I was a kid growing up around it and got to hang out with all the other drivers' kids, and it was really fun. It was a good time at the track, a good time growing up. I haven't really got to spend much time at the track with my brother. Only whenever he comes to Charlotte, we go out there and hang out with the kids, and they enjoy it. And being at the track with him whenever he first started was really great because I knew whenever we would set up the car and he would go out there and win, it's the crew who initially sets up the car, but the driver definitely drives the car. But it all starts with the crew. So it was pretty cool working on the car. But now that he's up in the Xfinity Series, he's doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing, and I got my son out there racing, and I'm back turning wrenches and crew chiefing on his go-kart. So it's pretty cool. I love it. It's exciting, and I get some joy out of it, watching my son go out there and run and do good himself.
So Bobby, talking about your son racing, because I'm a race car driver with a young son. My son's 4, and he's going to be doing probably what your son's doing right now. But I see you racing down Millbridge all the time. What's that like, and how much enjoyment do you get out of just doing that with your son?
Man, I tell you what, Millbridge and Mountain Creek, the other little go-kart track out here. Also, they got Woodleaf and Horsepower Park out in Morganton. They all have a great stadium or area for the kids to come out and run go-karts and stay out of trouble. It's been really great working on my son's kart and helping him learn and grow as a racer. And it's kind of cool because he's this year would be his third year. It's really his third year, but first year we was halfway through the year before he started. So it's really his second full year, and he's won 3 now. He actually won this weekend at our last race at Mountain Creek Speedway, and couldn't be more happy. And I love it because I get to get out there and work on his kart and make it as fast as I can make it, and then put it in his hands and let him go out there and drive it the best he can. So teaching him along the way, learning different things, and it's really good to him to go out there and enjoy something that he enjoys doing.
It's it's like a tradition that never ends, right? So, like, you were brought up into it by your father, and then they were brought into it by their father, and it almost like it never ends. And it just, to me, that's what racing's all about. I mean, my family comes all the time when I race, and we're going to do it all the time with him.
It's definitely a family sport, whether it's their family or not. I mean, the races around there that we race with, they're just like family. They come out and help us, and if we're in trouble or we need to adjust something to make our kart better, they're more than welcome to jump in. Or if we wreck during the heat race, you'll have like 5 guys come down to your trailer trying to help out, trying to get the car fixed or the kart fixed back for him to go race the main event. So it's a really great crowd. Is like I said, just being out there and with my kids and making memories. And my daughter's supposed to start next year,
awesome.
So that's going to be kind of interesting because then I got 2 karts that I got to take care of. So it's going to be a lot, but it's definitely worth it watching my kids out there and the enjoyment they get and time we get to spend together.
Let's talk a little bit about your racing career. 2013 ARCA Rookie of the Year. Talk to us a little bit about that season, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Xfinity starts you've had too.
Yeah, the ARCA Truck Series season, I went up to West Virginia and got hooked up with a lady named Chevella Simmons. And me and her worked through 2012, 2013, putting this deal together, and we went out there and run all that rookie year, that season with Frank Wilson Motorsports. He put me in a great truck and give me everything I needed to go out there and do what I needed to do. And once he found out that I could handle the truck, he kind of didn't give me everything that the truck had at first part of the season. But once he found out I could handle it, he let me loose, and we had a lot of top 5s and a couple chances to win races. Unfortunately, we weren't able to, but we come home with the Rookie of the Year and finished 6th in points. So, I mean, I can't complain about that. That was a pretty great year for my first year in the ARCA Truck Series.
Bobby, is there a memory from childhood to racing with your son that just sticks out the most for you throughout your career, whether it be a win, a loss, a moment with your family, whatever it may be? Is there one that really sticks out in your mind?
Oh yeah, my son's first win at Mountain Creek, that was probably the best, because as soon as he come across the start-finish line, he knew he won. He was fist pumping and just excited, and it was awesome. And now every time he does good, even if he finishes top 5 in the race, he's like pumping his fist, coming to his car, start-finish line, and when he gets off the track, he's got this thing where he'll shake his wing, grab his wing and shake it, and then it's just, there's memories like that. It's really great to see that and his excitement. And I know there was one time that he was leading the race, led the whole race, and then like 2 laps to go, second place turned him, and I was all upset. And he come in and he got out of the cart. He's like, "It's okay, Dad. You don't need to be upset. We had a good race. It's good." I was like, man, the eyes through a kid is just amazing. So he brought me back to the realization of what we were out there to do, just have fun.
So I want to, Ben brought up a great question. I want to jump on this as well. Saw a picture of you and your grandfather on a hunting trip in January of 2001. My boss is a big hunter, and he would not let me get out of this interview tonight not talking about hunting, first off. Tell us a little bit about what you remember from that hunting trip, and then are you still hunting nowadays?
Well, that's the one hunting trip that I will always ever remember. I went on his property out here in Mooresville. He took me to his favorite deer stand, and him and my dad were set up in the stand and just watching the deer, and he picked out one for me to shoot and told me which one to shoot, and I shot it. And then it's my first deer I ever shot. Let me phrase that. First buck I ever had shot a doe previous year before that, but first buck I've ever shot, nice buck. And it's just, I'll never forget that memory with him. And and still to this day, whenever I can get out and go hunting, I love to go out hunting. Not for the sport, just to go out and harvest an animal and cut it up and bring it back home, and me and my family eat on it for normally it lasts us a year. So I don't just go out there and just shoot. I go out there and harvest it and eat them, and so it provides for my family.
Excellent. So speaking from hunting to being out in the fishing side of things, a couple of years back, and I guess you were on this trip as well, I believe, and I hope I have the proper terminology, you went noodling with your brother. Tell us a little bit about noodling. As somebody up in the Northeast, it's not something so common to me.
Yeah, first time and only time I've ever been noodling. I wanted to go out with my brother. I know he had been into it a lot and knew what he was doing, so we got out there and he put me on a. They had these boxes that they put in the lake and set up and for fish, the catfish to go in and nest and all this. But he set it up and got me hooked up on a fish, and I never could get to it. I reached in there and couldn't never get to it, and he ended up having to go down there and get it himself. But it was a trip I'll always remember also because it's something I done with my brother. So
is this when you?
I never got a hold of it, but he did, and it was the big blue catfish, and they're the ones that bite the most or bite the hardest. So I'm kind of glad I didn't get that one.
Noodling is what you stick your arm down in there and you pull it out, and the whole thing's on your arm.
Yeah,
I've seen that on videos, man. I don't know how you do that.
So a couple years.
No, he actually had to go underwater, reach his hand in the box to get to it. So I'm like, man, I don't know about that.
That is crazy. Couple years ago, you ran a couple of Xfinity Series races, I believe, with MBM Motorsports, Carl Long. Talk to us a little bit about that and, what that experience was like.
Yeah, we were there for a couple of years. We were trying to build up to where I can get over and run the Xfinity Series. I know I went and run a couple ARCA races with, I can't think of the name of the team now, but it was number 3 car, Hixson Motorsports. We run some ARCA races with them, and then in order to build up to get me qualified to run some races with in the Xfinity Series. And then I jumped over with MBM. We first started out Richmond, did okay. We ended up having the right front go down and put us in the wall, but my next couple races were probably the better of the Xfinity races. I ran to Kansas and Texas and tried to make Homestead. We ended up not making Homestead. Kansas is probably my best finish. It was 19th. I love that track. I've been there 3 or 4 times now. But it was a really, really great experience.
Any plans?
I wouldn't want to change anything. Love it. I know running with them, I had my hardest hit at Texas. I was actually Noah Gregson was coming around the outside of me and took the wind off my back end and put me into the wall backwards. And I'm trying to tell you what, that's probably the hardest hit I've ever had. So,
any plans to get back in a car at any point soon, or on the Cup or NASCAR sanctioned series?
Well, we're trying to put some stuff together for this year or this coming year. I know I'm going to Daytona in January for the ARCA test. I don't know if we're going to do anything in the Xfinity or truck or anything like that, but may do a couple ARCA stuff this year. Looking forward to that. I can't wait for that. I know I have a buddy from Italy, Alex Pignon. He's coming over here to do the ARCA test, and he's gonna drag me along with him to the Daytona for the ARCA test, just so I can help him. I know he come over here and we run a test out here at Hickory Motor Speedway, and so it's gonna be fun. I'm ready to get back in the car and turn some laps, especially at Daytona. That's one track that holds a special place in my heart, and I've always told everybody, I said that's the one the one track that I've always wanted to run at before I can say I'm actually okay with being done with racing. And if Daytona is my last race, that's fine. I'm happy going and taking care of my son's stuff and watching him grow, and maybe run a couple late model races with him later down the road. But yeah, no, I'm trying to put some stuff together for this year for the ARCA season, but we'll see how that rolls out.
Excellent.
And like, if any of your fans or any of your audience out there listening wants to be on a Earnhardt car at Daytona, just reach out to you or reach out to me on my social media pages and let me know, and I'll be more than happy to try and figure out a deal to get you on the car.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. We'll definitely support that effort for sure. So, one final question I have for you, as we've been talking with Bobby Dale Earnhardt, great conversation. I've got to know, you've got to share a good story of your family, your grandfather, your father, uncle, whoever. You got a good Dale Earnhardt story for the listeners here?
Dale or Dale Jr.?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I do. I was a kid, and we were, I can't remember how old I was. We were living in one of his houses, and he had this, it's like 30 acres around this bunch of fields. And he'd come out there, I mean, they'd come out there and mow the fields to get the hay and all that stuff. Well, there was one time he come out there, and he was actually in the tractor mowing and all this stuff, and he saw us riding our bikes, and he jumped out and come over to us, and he asked for my bike, grabbed my bike, hopped on it backwards, sat on the handlebars, and rode the bike backwards around the house. Told me, he said, if I can do that next time he comes out there, then he would give me $10. And I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced, and next time he come out there, I stopped him, rode the bike backwards, and gave me $10. So that was a pretty cool experience that I had with him as well.
Excellent. So, absolute pleasure to have you on. This will not be the last time we have you on, because I'm sure we could get more stories and talk about things coming up down the road. Appreciate your time, Bobby. And with that, the In the Turn interview this week, sponsored by Emma's Pub and Pizza, located in Bridgewater and Norton. And like Bobby said at the beginning of the interview, great place to catch the Daytona 500. So I'm going to go talk to Ron and Mark, and we'll set that up and go from there. So, Bobby, appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving.